Our next point is statistical method. First, statistical method, which are frequently used for marketing demand and projections. These methods are trend projection method, and old farm owners aguru market they can use their own data of past year regarding its sales in past year, and these data are known as time series of sale, and firm can predict sales of its product by fitting trend to the time series of sales, and trend line can be fitted by geographic method or algebraic equation method is more appropriate in this trend projection method, जोटा कि हमें कहे कि जो मानकर ऑलरेडी निजर फार्म मतलब फार्म जो प्रोडक्ट ऑलरेडी मार्केट रे अछि से कंपनी कौन जाइबो त निजर डाटा निजर जो लास्ट ईयर डाटा रो ही कंपेयर करके ईयर सेल करते हबो डिमांड केमती रहिबो त प्रोडक्ट रो से थ्रू कर परिबो देन बैरोमेट्रिक मेथड जोटा इट इज आल्सो नोन एज leading indicators forecasting, and the analysis should establish relationship between the sale of the product and the economic indicator to the project the correct sale, and to measure what extent these indicators affect the sale. To establish relationship is not easy task, obviously, especially in case of new product where there is no past record. जो माने न्यू प्रोडक्ट आसुचंती न्यू मार्केट रे आसुचंती सेमान तो ओबियसली सेमान कर पास्ट रे किछि नाही से केमति करे सेमान पे कि एते भी इजी नुह गोटे मतलब कर प्रोडक्ट रो इकोनॉमी सहित मतलब इक्वेशन करबा ये करबा देन ए केस वाला बैरोमेट्रिक मेथड obviously it's a simple method and detectional charges quite accurately. Then next method is regression method. It is very common method of forecasting demand. Under this method, a relationship is established between quantity demand, demand variable and independent variable such as income, price of the goods, price of related goods, etc. Once a relationship is established, we derive the regression equation assuming relationship to be linear. The equation will be of the form y equal to a plus bx. There could also be a curvilinear relationship between dependent and independent variable. Then once regression equation is derived, the value of y, that is जोटा कि हमें कहछि quantity demand जोटा हमर रहछि can be established for any given value of x. Then advantage of this method is what matlab as the method is based on causal relationship, it produces reliable and accurate results. Besides generating the forecast, it also explains the economic phenomenon, and it is neither subjective as the qualitative technique nor as merchandise its quantitative ones. And this method not only forecasts the direction but also magnitude of change, and this method is quite consistent. Then our last method is econometric method. The econometric model forecasting involves estimating several stimulus equations such as which are generally behavioral equations, mathematical identities, and market clearing equation. The economic model techniques is also known as stimulation equation method as the complete system approach to forecasting, obviously. And this technique of this technique uses a sophisticated mathematical and statistical tools. And advantage of this method is this method possesses all the advantages of the regression method जोटा कि मैं पढ़ले कि based on causal relationship produce a reliable to accurate result जोटा में हमारे regression method जो सब advantages ଥିଲା एटा भी से सब करछन. Furthermore, it is not worried about the size of the model. It can almost eliminate the regression method major problem of forecasting the value of independent variable in the prediction period. Provided the data are available, one should not really be concerned with the model size, for the computer computer is there to help the forecaster to estimate and solve the model. Disadvantage to the extent of structural changes have taken place, the past relationship between independent and dependent variable will not be continued in future. Next also production. Production in economics refers to the process by which man utilizes or converts the resources of nature, working upon them so as to satisfy human wants. जोटा भी हम farm रो जहाँ रखुची आमे सेठुरु product जहाँ रखुची आमे कौन हमारा resources हो man utilize करके मतलब labor force जहाँ भी utilize करके हम तो कौन जो human wants को satisfy करवा. In other words, production in an economy activities that transfer inputs or resources into output. हमें जोटा कि हमारे resources अगर inputs provide करें तो हमें output कौन पाऊँ output of goods and services, thus creating or adding utility. Then what is utility? Utility is the one satisfying power of a goods or services. Service process of production creates utility by confirming from utility, place utility, time utility. It's called production. Then factors of production. Obviously, land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. जोड़ा के हमारे चार्टा अच्छी चार्टा 4 factors of production. First is land. And the term land is used in different sense in economics. It doesn't mean soil or yard surface alone, but refers to all free gift of nature, which would include besides the land in natural resources, fertility of soil, water, air, natural gas, labor. Then the term labor means mental or physical extraction indicate to produce goods or services. In other words, it refers various types of human efforts which require to the use of physical extraction, skill, intellect, and labor. To have an economic significance must be one which is done with the motive of some economic reward. Obviously, जब इस labor रखुଛୁ तांको ପାଇଁ तो କିଛି rewards बना labor cost तो दबाव पड़ियो. And capital. Capital may be defined as that part of wealth of an individual or community which is used for further production of wealth. In fact, capital is a stock concept which yield is periodical income, which is a flow concept, and capital is defined as produced means of production. This definition distinguishes capital from both land and labor because both the land and labor are not produce factor. They are primary or original factor of production, whereas capital is not a original factor of production. It has been produced by man by working with nature. Therefore, capital may be well defined as man-made instrument of production. Then entrepreneur. It is the factor which mobilizes other factors just like land, labor, and capital. ये सब को क्या use करते हैं? Entrepreneur combines them in the right proportion, then initiates the process of production and bear the risks involved in it. And this factor is also known as entrepreneur. He is also been called the organizer, the manager of, or the risk taker. But in these days of specialization, the task of organizer has become different from that of the entrepreneur. While organization and management involve decision making of routine and non-routine types, the task of entrepreneur is to initiate production work and to bear the risks involved in it. Then production function. Production function is a mathematical equation determining the relationship between factors and quantity of input for production and number of goods it produces most efficiently. It answers the queries related to marginal productivity, level of production, and cheap cheapest mode of production of goods. And the production function helps the producer to determine the maximum output that farms and business can achieve using the above four factors, जोटा कि हमें पढ़ ले land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. And in addition, it aids in selecting the minimum inputs combination for maximum output production at a certain price point. It's called production function.